With a star's future and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Touching on the possibility of facing his father, Rey Mysterio, in AAA, Dominik Mysterio said this on Busted Open Radio. Never. We've never wrestled in AAA together, never faced each other. If I'm involved, it's the greatest #1 match of all time. It'll be their biggest Raw. Could it happen? I don't see why not. If I become the Mega Campeon for AAA, I don't see why my father, the Leprechaun, shouldn't be coming down to me and begging for a title shot. He's been hurt with his injury since WrestleMania, right? So if he wants to come back and I'm the Mega Campeon and the Intercontinental Champion as well, he has never fought for that title when it comes to the Mega Campeon for AAA. So if I get my hands on it, I'm sure he's going to want to put his name in the history books. But he's got to go through me, the greatest Mysterio of all time. Dominik said this about potentially ripping his father's mask off. Of course, the people would celebrate me. Giving his thoughts on Brock Lesnar returning to WWE at SummerSlam, Drew McIntyre told The West Sports, "I just thought, there's Brock, there he is. It's not like anything crazy. I just, saw him come out. When night was out, night 2, I had wrestled night 1 of SummerSlam on the Saturday, the first 2-day SummerSlam ever. Very successful, 113,000 people over 2 days. And I'd finished my last appearance. I got in a plane. I believed I had just arrived home in the Nashville area here when I saw it, and I went, oh, there he is. I know Brock is back, and I know he's the beast. He causes a lot of headlines, and most importantly, he's also the guy I beat in the main events of WrestleMania for my first WWE Championship in 5 minutes. Mentioning Austin Theory's WWE status, Ringside News noted that there's finally some clarity on Austin Theory's mysterious WWE absence, and no, he hasn't been quietly released after all. In an update from internal sources via Fightful Select, Theory is still part of WWE's roster, but he's now listed among injured talent alongside names like Zoe Stark and Ilya Dragunov. While WWE hasn't publicly disclosed the nature or severity of his injury, this internal classification helps explain why Theory has disappeared from television without any storyline closure. Theory last wrestled at the WWE Raw tapings on July 14th, appearing on Main Event. Since then, there's been no follow-up and no on-air mention, except a vague reference to him being injured during a broadcast. That brief comment was never expanded on, leaving fans to speculate wildly in the absence of official information. What's made the situation more frustrating is the abrupt halt of the A-Town Down Under storyline. WWE teased a breakup between Theory and Grayson Waller for months, with live crowds even chanting "Turn on Grayson" in anticipation. But rather than delivering a payoff or even an explanation, WWE simply moved on, with Waller now involved in a completely different program alongside the New Day. Theory, meanwhile, has remained absent, with his removal from WWE's internal active roster briefly sparking fears of a quiet release. But this latest update confirms that he's still with the company, just currently sidelined with an undisclosed injury. It's unclear when he'll return, or whether WWE will revisit the abandoned tag team story, but at least now fans know his disappearance wasn't due to creative neglect or a contract issue. Calling out those who feel he could not be the face of AEW due to his dangerous stunts, Darby Allin said this to Steve-O. People say, oh, you can never be the face of the company. You're too much of a liability. You're gonna get yourself killed. You're gonna break your arm, do X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, no dude, I'm the face of this company because I'm willing to go places no one else will go for this company. I put an AEW flag on top of Mount Everest. Ain't nobody doing that, you know what I mean? I told Tony Khan. I used Bam Margera as an analogy. You remember when Bam was one of the top skateboarders, but his outside shenanigans were almost as big, if not bigger, than his skateboarding? That's how I see it. If I can do all this crazy stuff outside of wrestling, it'll just help me, and all of us in wrestling. It'll bring more eyes from the action sports world, the adventure world, whatever it is. Because if we just keep performing for the same fans we already have, you've got to do something different. That's why I think the outside shenanigans help get more eyes on AEW. So I told Tony, yeah, like Bam, he did all this wild stuff, and it got more eyes on skateboarding. Ain't nobody gonna have an Element skateboard. And Tony's like, yeah, alright, good business model. Go jump off whatever. When it comes to plans for Roman Reigns at the Clash in Paris event, Ringside News wrote that Roman Reigns isn't taking time off just yet. WWE is keeping the Tribal Chief locked in for Clash in Paris 2025, but fans hoping to see him in a one-on-one showdown will have to wait. On the latest episode of WrestleVotes Radio via WrestleBinge, Joey Votes and TC shut down speculation that Reigns was written off TV to start filming the Street Fighter movie. They confirmed the attack on Roman Reigns on the Raw after SummerSlam 2025 was not a write-off. Instead, WWE is plugging Reigns into a tag team match for the August 31st event in Paris. While it's unclear who his partners or opponents will be, the decision to avoid a singles bout this time around is part of WWE's longer-term planning. One match fans keep pushing for, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, is still on WWE's radar, but not for this show. It won't be happening in Paris, the report added, keeping the dream match alive for a future stadium-level PLE. The decision to go with a tag team format continues a recent trend where WWE positions Reigns in multi-man scenarios at international shows while preserving big money singles bouts for premium events down the line. Love it or hate it, Roman's presence at Clash in Paris confirms that WWE isn't slowing down with its biggest name, just switching up the format. Following his match at Bloodsport on August 2nd, Jonathan Gresham said this in a medical update, writing on X, 2 days ago, I woke up and couldn't walk or move the left side of my body. I couldn't see and could barely talk. It took me 30 minutes to dial 911, but I finally did. I woke up in the hospital, couldn't remember what had happened. They told me they had done an MRI and I had 2 strokes. They're not sure what happened, and the only thing they said was it could have been a possible complication from a bad case of COVID I had a couple of weeks ago. They said we may never know the exact reason. My wife saw me get carted off from the house on our Ring doorbell camera and somehow flew from Orlando to Atlanta in time that she was there when I woke up. I wasn't fully convinced I had a stroke until she showed me this photo of how my face looked. I never thought this would be something for me to worry about at 37 years old. I will be back soon. Recalling a female stalker that showed up at her house, Rhea Ripley told Cheap Heat, I had someone rock up on Valentine's Day, this past Valentine's Day, and luckily I was in Australia cause she just stared into my Ring camera. She left a poem under my door, saying that we're the sun and the moon and we're meant to be together. If I was home, I would have answered the door and I would have been so uncomfortable. And I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my own damn house. That's just not okay. Everyone should have their space to go home and relax and not have to worry about someone random looking through your window or knocking on your door. Some, not all of them, but some of them do think that they own us because we are on live television weekly. And I don't stand for that. I'm a human being as well. I don't want random people rocking up at my door to mark out over me. A video of Brock Lesnar's entrance at SummerSlam shows a fan getting hit by PYRO. With speculation regarding Karrion Kross's future in WWE, Ringside News wrote that Karrion Kross is shutting down the noise, and according to him, most of what's been written about his WWE future is flat out false, with Kross and Scarlett's WWE contracts originally set to expire on August 10th, the internet lit up this week with theories, contract talk, and mystery. Fightful Select reported that while the couple hadn't been offered new deals as of August 5th, things quickly changed, and by August 7th, Dave Meltzer claimed that Kross had in fact received a contract offer. Since then, sources close to WWE and Kross have gone silent. Fightful noted, usually when things go quiet to that degree, something is happening. But now, Kross himself is stepping up to clear the air. While promoting his new book, Life is Fighting, on the Angle podcast, the former NXT champion addressed the rumors and made it known that most of them aren't legit. I hope so. Scarlett and I could be back on WWE Raw. I see things being written online right now, specifically today. A lot of what I read is not true. I hate to disappoint people, but I don't want to BS. But I hope so. I hope we do come back. The couple was originally scheduled to appear on Raw earlier this week, but those plans were scrapped. Creative ideas were reportedly in play for Kross, but nothing concrete has been confirmed. Despite earlier reports that they hadn't received contract offers, insiders believe Kross and Scarlett have either been offered new deals or will be very soon. WWE hasn't operated with this kind of last-minute approach since Dan Ventrell's departure, making this situation especially intriguing. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.